For this last lesson on files, we're going to look at passing files into procedures and functions. This program that we're looking at here is going to start the process of making a database of songs, a year recorded, and the artist that recorded it. So going down to the main program, we'll come up and look at these defs in a minute. We input the name of a song, and no cheating, no looking down there. We input the name of a song, input the year, input the artist, and then we send that along to the procedure write music, which passes the file, song, year, and artist into write music. And in write music, that just does a write to the file, the song with a new, and then a new line, the year, new line, and artist with a new line. There is one thing to note, and this is the big point actually of this whole video, as at this point, music.txt is actually going to be a new file. It's going to be created by this command, and then, missing white space. Yes, PyCharm, missing white space. At this point, after we do this, write music, the file pointer is actually updated by this procedure. So we've gotten kind of used to, you throw a variable into a procedure and it can do some stuff with it, but back in the calling program, that variable's not changed. Well, in this case, the file pointer, that's not true. This write command inside this procedure is actually going to change the value of the file pointer back here. So when we get back to the main program, if we want to go back to the beginning of the file, we have to do a seek.0 or .seek0, sorry. And then we're going to just print out the contents of the file. In this case, it's going to be one song. And we're going to do that by doing a for loop. And we don't need a for loop in this case, but we will in the next version of this program. And we're just going to start reading lines in the file. And we're going to then take that line in the file pointer and send that off to read music. So the way this works is for line in F, this is going to read a line in the file and then execute this command. When we go up to read music, and the first thing it does is take that line that we've read, line, and assigns it to song, then does two more read lines because we know that the year and artist are on separate lines. Keep in mind that this read line is going to be a string, not an integer, even though year should be an integer. And now we're just going to return the string that has the song concatenated with was recorded in, concatenated with the year, by, and the artist. And again, this is going to update the file pointer. At this point, we're only going to have one song in the file. So after we execute this once, the file pointer will be at the end of the file. It'll come up to the beginning of this loop. We'll try to read in line in F and get end of file, and this for loop will end, and we will be done with this program. So we're going to run this and put in the name of a song, Living on a Prayer, 1986 by Bon Jovi. And it says Living on a Prayer was recorded in 1986 by Bon Jovi. We can go and then look at music, and of course that information is in there. And note that again, from the way that we wrote the write music, each one of these is on its own separate line. So the song title, the year, and the artist are on new lines. And now let's go over to music database. In this case, write music and read music are the same as before. And as before, I'm missing white space. The difference here is I'm now opening the file in append mode. And another difference is I put a while loop inside this with command. And continue is going to start off as yes. And while continue is yes, we're going to keep inputting names and artists and writing them to the file. And then we're going to ask at the bottom, would you like to input another artist or not? And when that is done, when that while loop is done, we're done inputting music, then we're going to go back to the beginning of the file and we're going to read in a bunch of lines. So let's run this. We've already put in Living on a Prayer, so that should still be, whoop, let's not type up there. Some more music, so let's do Jump, which was recorded in 1983 for the album 1984 by Van Halen. And I ran the wrong program. Oops, that was Functions and Files, and I wanted to run Music Database. So Music Database opened up in write mode, if you remember, so it just overwrote what was in there before. That's okay. Let's run the right program this time. So maybe we learned something anyways. We gotta put Living on a Prayer back in. Can't forget John Bon Jovi. That was in 1986. Bon Jovi. And yeah, we'll put in another artist. This time we'll put something in by Enya, a little more mellow. And yeah, we'll put something else in. Nice classic. By Otis Redding. And that'll be good. Actually, the way my while loop is running, if I put in anything other than a Y, or a capital Y, it's going to exit, but I'll go ahead and type no. And then we get back that Jump was recorded. So this is the for loop running here. So let's open up now Music and see what's going on. First, we seek to the beginning of the file right here in this line. And then for line in F. So that reads in the first line Jump. And that passes that to Read Music. And Read Music, remember, then assigns that to the title. And then reads in 2 more lines. So it's going to read in these 2 lines. And then returns that string. Jump was recorded in 1983 by Van Halen. Then we go back up to the for loop again. I lost my window. And at this point, the file pointer is here. So it reads in a line, and it's able to read this line in, Living on a Prayer. So it goes up to Read Music, assigns that the title, reads in 2 more lines. File pointer is here. We go to the next part of the for loop. Oh, and it prints that out. So that's where you get Living on a Prayer was recorded in 1986 by Bon Jovi. Come up to the for loop again. Read in Orinoco Flow. Not sure how that's pronounced. 1978. Read Music reads this in. Reads this line in. File pointer's here. Read Music returns. We print out. Orinoco Flow was recorded in 1978 by Enya. Come back up. For loop is executed again. We read in another line, The Dock of the Bay. And then Read Music, just in case you're not sure what I'm talking about, Read Music then reads in the year and the artist. It's using the line we already read in for the song. Returns that. We print it. At this point, the file pointer is down here. And remember, again, even though we're passing in the file to this function, the function actually updates the file pointer. So when we come back to the main program, the file pointer is down here. We come up, try to execute the for line in F. When we do that, we get an end of file, and the for loop terminates, and we are done with this program. So the big thing to remember with this is that you can pass a file to a function or a procedure. Just use the name of it. Whatever you do inside that procedure is going to affect the file pointer back in the calling program. And that is it.